In 2026, Tesla is quietly preparing for one of the biggest battery shifts since the introduction of the 4680 cell, and the race is now down to two unexpected contenders: aluminum-ion and sodium-ion. These aren't just lab experiments anymore. They are real technologies entering pre-production validation, and they could decide how affordable, how powerful, and how durable the next generation of Tesla vehicles will be for millions of drivers who simply want longer range, faster charging, and a battery that doesn't die in extreme weather. This battle matters more than any marketing slogan. But here's the question: which chemistry actually gives you more usable energy density in the real world? And for everyday owners, from the guy commuting 40 miles to work to the retiree towing a lightweight RV, what difference would these two chemistries make in daily driving? That's exactly what we're going to break down in today's video. Before we jump in, a quick welcome to Autogearshift, the channel that delivers Tesla analysis without the noise, without the hype, and without the recycled speculation. If you want data-driven breakdowns, real industry context, and projections based on expert-level manufacturing insights, you're in the right place. And hey, we're just a few subscribers away from hitting 17,999 subs, that oddly satisfying number that will make this channel look like it's running a secret Tesla software version. So if you want to be one of the people who helps us hit that weirdly perfect milestone, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications right now. 1. How far can aluminum-ion really push energy density compared to sodium-ion in a 2026 Tesla? As Tesla evaluates new cell chemistries for its 2026 lineup, the biggest question inside the company isn't hype-driven at all. It's math-real, manufacturable energy density. Aluminum-ion cells have been reported in early prototypes to reach between 260 and 300 watt-hours per kilogram, a figure that, if Tesla can stabilize it, would put them just above today's LFP packs and even brushing against early 40-60-80 energy levels. The appeal is obvious. Aluminum is lightweight, abundant, and far easier to scale than high-purity lithium. But the real challenge is consistency. Lab samples often hit the higher end of that range, while scaled cells tend to drop by 20 to 30 watt-hours per kilogram once they go through mass production processes like calendaring and coating sodium-ion. On the other hand, comes in lower, usually 140 to 170 watt-hours per kilogram depending on the cathode mix. But what surprises Tesla's internal testing teams is how stable those numbers remain under cold weather stress. At -15 degrees Celsius, sodium-ion retains close to its nominal capacity, dropping only around the same amount a lithium pack would at -5 degrees Celsius. That reliability matters. For a Model 2 or a future sub-$25,000 Tesla that needs to perform across American winters, sodium-ion could offer a good enough energy density, while slashing raw material costs and reducing dependence on lithium supply swings. If Tesla deploys aluminum-ion in its standard range vehicles, the projected EPA range could land somewhere between 360 and 410 kilometers on a compact platform, whereas sodium-ion, a bit heavier and lower in density, would likely fall into the 280 to 320 kilometer window, unless Tesla optimizes pack structure with a new cell-to-pack strategy. The engineering debate inside Tesla right now isn't just about chemistry. It's about what customers actually value. Do they want maximum range, or do they want durability and low cost? Aluminum-ion leans toward performance gains, while sodium-ion leans toward predictable affordability. Still, the wild card for aluminum-ion is charge speed. Some early tests point to theoretical recharge times under 10 minutes for a full cycle. Thanks to the chemistry's exceptional ion mobility, Tesla won't hit that figure in 2026, but even a conservative rollout could bring 20 to 25 minutes for 10% to 80% charging on V4 superchargers, far faster than sodium-ion's likely 32 to 38 minutes on the same hardware. For road trip drivers, contractors, and owners who push their range daily, that difference is huge. The question now is whether Tesla can maintain that speed without degrading the cells prematurely, and that, more than anything else, will determine which chemistry reaches the assembly line first. 2. How can aluminum ion survive real-world heat and cold better than sodium ion, or is the hype getting ahead of reality? When Tesla evaluates a new battery chemistry, one of the first torture tests is temperature. Not lab-controlled temperature, but real-world abuse, the kind owners face during a July heat wave in Arizona or a January freeze in Minnesota. Aluminum ion cells have shown impressive theoretical stability in lab simulations, maintaining structural integrity even at 55 degrees Celsius. But early Tesla field tests reveal that their performance curve isn't as flat as enthusiasts hoped. At extreme heat above 45 degrees Celsius, internal resistance begins to climb, leading to reduced output and slightly slower charging. It's not catastrophic, but it pushes Tesla engineers to redesign the thermal channels to keep these cells under tighter temperature control than existing LFP packs. Sodium ion, meanwhile, performs almost predictably across a wider temperature swing. At minus 20 degrees Celsius, sodium ion cells still deliver a respectable portion of their rated capacity, enough for a compact Tesla to retain most of its daily driving range without the need for aggressive preconditioning. This is precisely why BYD has committed sodium ion to its subcompact EVs starting in 2025. Tesla sees the same advantage. Predictable cold weather behavior equals fewer complaints, fewer service visits, and a smoother user experience. The downside is that at high temperatures above 50 degrees Celsius, sodium ion cells can experience accelerated anode degradation unless the pack uses a reinforced hard carbon structure, something Tesla is currently experimenting with. Range stability is another area where the two chemistries diverge sharply. Aluminum ion's energy density looks fantastic on paper, but its sensitivity to heat could mean a 5 to 9% real-world range loss in extremely hot climates if thermal management isn't aggressively tuned. Sodium ion, despite the lower density, keeps its usable range surprisingly stable, with cold weather drop-offs that resemble modern lithium packs operating around minus 5 degrees Celsius, even when temperatures plunge much lower for Tesla's global fleet, especially in regions like Canada, Scandinavia, and northern U.S. states. This predictable performance is extremely attractive. Charging behavior adds another layer to the comparison. Aluminum ion cells theoretically allow for remarkable charge acceptance even in cold conditions, but Tesla's tests show that once ambient temperatures dip below minus 10 degrees Celsius, they behave more like performance-oriented lithium cells, requiring significant preconditioning to hit optimal speeds. Sodium ion, conversely, barely changes its charge curve between minus 10 degrees Celsius and 10 degrees Celsius, making it a better candidate for owners who don't have garage parking or who drive in harsh winter environments. It isn't fast, but it's reliable. So the question becomes, what does the average Tesla owner care about more? Raw potential or real-world consistency? Aluminum ion might one day dominate high-performance or long-range variants thanks to its high ceiling. But sodium ion's stable behavior under both heat and cold could make it the default chemistry for budget-friendly Tesla models rolling out of Gigafactory Texas or a future Mexico plant. And for a company eyeing 5 million vehicles per year, consistent performance may be just as valuable as breakthrough numbers. 3. Which battery will reach Tesla production first? And what do the 2026 manufacturing timelines really tell us? When Tesla evaluates new chemistries, excitement doesn't matter. Timelines do. For aluminum ion, the biggest barrier isn't energy density or theoretical charge speed, it's manufacturability. The anode architecture for aluminum ion requires a multi-layer graphene composite structure, and while the material itself can be produced at scale, achieving uniformity at the gigafactory level, tens of millions of cells per month, is still unproven. Tesla's pilot line in Nevada reportedly pushed small batches earlier this year, with yields hovering in the 62 to 68% range. That is far below the threshold needed for automotive economics. where anything under 88% starts bleeding money. Even with improvements, aluminum-ion is unlikely to hit industrial-scale yields before late 2026. Sodium-ion is much closer. The manufacturing line is not radically different from existing LFP processes, which gives Tesla an immediate advantage. With cathode materials based on sodium-manganese blends and a hard carbon anode that requires no rare metals, line conversion is dramatically faster. Internal estimates suggest that Tesla could convert an LFP line to sodium-ion production in under 7 months, a fraction of the time required for a fully new aluminum-ion line. The supply chain is equally attractive. Sodium sources are abundant worldwide, and the cathode materials can be sourced or processed at a scale far exceeding what lithium can offer today. For a company scaling toward millions of entry-level EVs annually, sodium-ion slots into the industrial ecosystem almost seamlessly. Price projections tell an even clearer story. Aluminum itself is cheap, about $2,400 per metric ton. But the processing for aluminum-ion cells drives the cost back up. If Tesla produces aluminum-ion packs in 2026, the initial cost per kilowatt-hour would likely land around $92 to $105, gradually falling as yields improve. Sodium-ion, however, is projected to debut at $58 to $72 per kilowatt-hour, a number that could let Tesla finally release a sub-$25,000 mass-market EV without sacrificing profit margin. Now let's hear from you. If you had to choose tomorrow, which chemistry would you trust in your next Tesla? Raw speed from aluminum-ion or stable, cold-weather performance from sodium-ion? And more importantly, what matters most to your daily driving? Range, charging time, or cost? Drop your thoughts in the comments below so we can see where the real-world priorities actually are. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming deep dives into Tesla's 2026 tech roadmap. AutoGearshift has much more coming. Don't miss what's next.